Hey y'all, it's Barry with Growing Roots Farm. I'm going to bring you along on how I'm building these roll-away chicken nesting boxes for our new chicken wagon. Let me show you here. So this is one I've got up. That door there it still has to have a latch. I've got to have a latch there so that this part stays upright. But then we got the AstroTurf in here for the rollaways. And if I can get it to stay, underneath we're doing it with wire instead of with wood. One, it cuts down on the weight, and two, if an egg happens to break, the yolk can in time go down through. Let me back up here just a bit. The yolk can go through and drop through this instead of staying on wood. Thing is, with this from the outside, we're not, even though this is large enough, this wagon's large enough that we can walk in it, I prefer not to have to do that. So if there's a broody chicken or something in here that we need to get out, I want to be able to access it from here to get them out that way. That's why I'm making this access here. Okay, hope that makes sense. So I've got the angle, let's see if I can show that right. That angle going down, I don't even know what the actual angle is. I eyeballed it a bunch and reattempted it multiple times. I think I've got it now where it's working pretty well. The eggs roll down, but it's not too fast. One of the issues we will have here, especially at this property, is are the hills. So I'm sure there are times when we might have to take like a towel, like an old towel or something, and kind of shove up in these boxes because we don't want the eggs coming down too fast. That might have to be done from time to time, but for the most part, I think this will work pretty well. Still have to add the little perch that they get onto, that then they can jump in. I'll add that last. I'm also going to make the perch where it's on a hinge and it can collapse so that it can block the nesting boxes, if that makes sense. Let me bring you over here. I've learned from doing a lot of different woodworking projects and such. It works a whole lot easier if you batch everything out. Because of that, I've got this here. So I've got my long part here. This is 44 inches. All of the centers are all 24 inches. And then one thing I've done to make it easier for me to screw all this together is I take a 2x4, I clamp it down to create a barrier or a wall. So I can push on this, I can drill into it, and it doesn't go anywhere. The other thing, I've got 2x4s, or well, I'll back up. All of these are 2x4s that have been ripped in two. Okay, they've been ripped in two, but these are 24 inches. These are 10 inches, and those are 20. And I'll show you back over here real quick what they're all for. The 10, kind of getting some bad lighting there. The 10 inches go up here. They connect the top plywood, and this is just 1/2 inch plywood, half the plywood here to the vertical plywood. I have one at each nesting box. Okay. The 20-inch boards go right here. So and I'll show you that process here in just a little bit, but they attach and they come down into here. I just didn't want to go in full length. I guess I could have, it probably wouldn't mess with anything, but I didn't do it on this. I'm sure it wouldn't mess with anything, but that's part of it, and I'll bring you all along on this. Okay, got the inside dividers, 3 3/4 at the outside lip. It's 27 1/4 front to back, 3 inches here, so it goes up 3/4 of an inch over that span. This is 16 1/2 foot, 16 1/2 foot, oh my goodness, 16 1/2 inches, and then 14 inches there. Okay, so it makes that sort of angle. Okay, that's our center divider. There are two of those, 2 center dividers. All right, the 2 outside dividers are exactly the same, except it's thicker or it's taller, 5.5 to 4 3/4. It's taller because you attach it on the outside here, which is why. So you're accounting for that, for whatever your base height is, you're accounting for that in your measurement. There's just 2 of them. They attach out on the outside. Okay, so here we are. I've got the base with the wire on it, and now I'm attaching my dividers. Okay, the wire I've got here is 1/2 inch by 1/2 inch. I would have preferred I think it's 1/2 inch by 1 inch or 1/2 inch by 3/4 is what I would have preferred. It's also a little bit heavier gauge wire, which would have been nice, but this will be fine. It's just not as heavy duty. I added the 20-inch strip here to here. I offset it a little bit. I don't know if you can see that. I offset it so that this plywood piece would have a little bit of this board to set on. Okay. All right. Same thing over here. So I added a 20-inch piece here and here, and then that gave me something to screw this divider to. There's the outside look at the dividers. Okay. Now from here, I'll attach plywood pieces here that will be stationary, and then my hinges will go off this spot and off this spot here for my lids. So getting closer. We're almost there. We've attached the top with the 10-inch pieces there. Okay. Put the top on. Put the front on. Okay. Now these here are going to be screwed there, sort of like that. Okay, sort of screwed there in place. All right, and then that's what the hinges will attach to. So this will be your stationary piece. Then your hinges will come here. That allows you to have your lift here and your drop down door there. So just got to attach it. All right, so I've got all 6 nesting boxes 90% complete. I did have the plywood I bought was pretty cheap, so I had some issues with it warping and stuff like that, but it's just chicken boxes. It shouldn't be a big deal. But now we have 9 boxes per side, so we got 18 boxes for the entire coop. Should work pretty well. I still have to put the AstroTurf. See how I got the AstroTurf in there? I got to put it in the other ones. That doesn't take very long. One thing I'm not happy with is I've used the style latch. I don't know what it's called, but I've used this style latch on a lot of our builds, a lot of our projects. Normally have it in a horizontal position. I tried it vertically because I need some sort of latch to hold this up. I'm just not thrilled with it. I don't like the way it looks. I had to add some blocks on top to be able to anchor it. I just don't like the way it looks or the way it functions, so I'm going to find some other latches. This isn't something that we're going to have to get into all the time, so it's not going to have to be opened a lot. At least that's my anticipation, because we'll be able to get the eggs out from here instead. But got them all. Just got to fix the latches. I think we will have to paint these an exterior paint just to protect them. But that's the nesting boxes. That's the build. And let me know what you think. Hopefully you all like it. You know, I appreciate everybody watching. It's been nice. But thank you. I really appreciate it. And like and share this if you haven't already. Thank you. You all have a good one.